Texas Stadium, where the Dallas Cowboys, in front of a sellout crowd, will entertain the Carolina Panthers on just a perfect day in Texas. Believe me, you don't get many days like this in this part of the country. Pat Summerall with John Madden. And John, let's talk about the troubled Carolina Panthers. First of all, their quarterback Kerry Collins told his coach Dom Capers during the week, of course, that he didn't have any heart for the game, so they'll start Steve Beuerlein today.
And that has to be a real distraction for the team, because this happened on Wednesday. Now, when something like this happens, I think you can go two ways. One, you can go in the dumpster and say, well, we got all kind of excuses. But with this team, I don't think they're going to do that. The other thing you can do is rise to the occasion. I think with a coach like Dom Capers and this team, I think Carolina is going to do that today. Now, whether or not they have enough to beat the Cowboys, I don't know that. But I do know that when we talked to Steve Beuerlein last night, who was the starting quarterback, he does have a lot of confidence. And as he walked out of the room, he said to us, mark it down, we're going to beat the Cowboys today.
And, of course, the Cowboys will start a backup quarterback as well. Jason Garrett will open.
You know, I've always been impressed with Jason Garrett because he's a backup quarterback that will throw the ball deep. You know, so many teams, they bring in their backup quarterback and say, well, we have to run the ball and they're going to throw their short passes. But with Jason Garrett, he will throw the ball deep. Now, what that does, that'll loosen up the defense. Then once you get that defense loosened up, then you can use that big offensive line the Cowboys have and run the ball with Emmitt Smith, because that's what they do best.
So coming up, it's the Carolina Panthers and the Dallas Cowboys from Texas Stadium. And John and I'll be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station.
Heard some comments you made. I'm going to let you know Barnard's still on the map today, baby.
Let's dominate every play. Dominate on three. 1, 2, 3. Dominate!
You better run this show today, baby. Muhammad in the house.
Presentation of the National Football League.
The Dallas Cowboys will receive the kickoff from the Carolina Panthers, who've been a troubled franchise during the week. Kerry Collins, of course, we talked about, but Fred Lane, their fine young running back, missed the team charter on the way out here. And he'll not start when the Panthers get the ball. This is going to be Kevin Mathis at the 2. Mathis out of the pack to about the 28. Let's look at the Dallas offense now. Led by, as we said to you, the quarterback Jason Garrett from Princeton. 4-1 record as a starter. In front of him, a huge offensive line, and they have become very effective once again. Larry Allen without peer at one tackle, and Flozell Adams opens at guard. Emmitt Smith, Darrell Johnson, Billy Davis, Michael Irvin, the pass receivers, and Irvin comes to the bottom of your picture out wide right. Jason Garrett opens at quarterback. Emmitt Smith. Emmitt near first down yardage. Hit by Tony Beuerlein. Let's look at the Carolina defense. Three-man front, Gilbert, Morabito, and Jason Peter. The linebackers, 4 of them, Lloyd, Barrow, Brady, and Kevin Green. And in the secondary, Rod Smith, Veland, Red Alexander, and Eric Davis. Smith was about a yard short of a first down. He'll get another try. And he'll get the first down outside the 40. Tripped by Jeff Brady.
You know, we talked to the Dallas Cowboy coach last night, Chan Gailey, about the things that he had to do or wanted to do. The first thing that he said was run the ball generally and run the ball inside specifically. I think with that offensive line where you have Larry Allen, probably the best offensive lineman in all of football, Nate Newton, Eric Williams on the other side, you might as well use that group.
Might as well. Garrett. Pass caught by Michael Irvin. Run out of bounds by Eric Davis. Again, just a little bit shy of the first down.
You know, and that's one thing over the years that you've always had to do I've always felt to be successful with the Cowboys is you have to get the ball to Michael Irvin, and you have to get the ball to him early and get him in the game. Because if you let him sit out there and don't get him the ball earlier, don't get it to him in the first quarter, then I think he starts to get a little frustrated, and you start to get frustrated that you have to get it to him.
That's Emmitt Smith, tripped up in the backfield by Brent Alexander. You saw him moving up on a blitz, and it was very effective.
Well, they know that they can't hold up over there on that side against Larry Allen. And if they're going to have to get that 8th man up, and if they're going to run to this side, they got to get that safety up here. And you see right there, Brent Alexander just got up into the backfield and made that play. Is with this offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys and their running back Emmitt Smith, when he's running well, you cannot defend him with 7. You have to bring that 8th guy up, that being the safety.
And now they go with what they call the 214 package, and Deion Sanders lined up split wide to the opposite side. Deion will have a limited role on offense, but wherever he goes, he attracts some people, and usually with good reason. The Texas State Fair going on across the city of Dallas, over by the Cotton Bowl. Deion Sanders into the game, and he's got a wristband on with a lot of information.
Yeah, and those are all his plays. Those are just the plays that he's involved in. But it not only gives him the play, it gives him the formation and his alignment. This is called 214. 21 for Deion and 4 wide receivers.
And Jason Garrett operates out of the shotgun as Michael Irvin comes in motion. And they look the other way, and it's incomplete. Good coverage by the Panthers. And the Cowboys apparently will have to punt.
Yeah, we talked about the wristband that Deion has, and again, he has all his offensive plays on there. The quarterback, Jason Garrett, also has a wristband, and he has 60 plays. He has the whole game plan on his wrist, on his right wrist, and his left wrist.
Toby
30 plays
going 30 plays per wrist. Going back to punt. Winslow Oliver back deep for the Panthers, gets outside the 20, about the 21, where Carolina will take over. Tripped up by Charlie Williams. And Steve Beuerlein will open at quarterback for Carolina. Summerall with John Madden back at Texas Stadium. Anthony Johnson is the lone setback for Carolina. That's Steve Beuerlein who starts at quarterback. Beuerlein to Johnson, who a couple of years ago led this team in rushing. Straight ahead, let's look at the Carolina offense. Steve Beuerlein is mentioned, the quarterback, 26 and 27. His record as a starter. He formerly played for the Cowboys, Raiders, Arizona. Blake Brockermeyer, Frank Garcia, Stoltenberg, Alberto Davis, Garrido at right tackle, Johnson and Floyd. Although Floyd's not in the game now. 2nd and 6. Beuerlein fires complete to Wesley Wall.
But he drilled that one in there, didn't he?
Did he ever? Well, he promised a victory.
Yeah.
The Cowboy defense in front. Pittman, Lett, Hennings, and Greg Ellis, their #1 draft choice. The 3 linebackers, Coakley, Strickland, and Godfrey. And the secondary, the incomparable Deion Sanders, Stoutmeyer, Woodson, and Kevin Smith. Lane and Floyd are the 2 backs now. I beg your pardon, that was Johnson, not Lane.
Well, it's interesting you were talking about Fred Lane, who missed the airplane, and for disciplinary reasons, the Panthers aren't starting him. But when they played a year ago, the Panthers beat the Cowboys, and Fred Lane was a big part of that. In fact, he rushed the last time they played for 138 yards.
This is the only team the Cowboys have never beaten. One setback again is Johnson. He gets the carry, and he gets close to midfield. Stopped by Henning. Excuse me.
Just saying, you know, over his career, Anthony Johnson has had big years too. I mean, he's rushed for over 1,000 yards, and when Fred Lane came around last year, then Anthony Johnson just became the third down back. So he's been playing, and he's been playing quite a bit. He just hasn't been the go-to guy or the running back. This guy right there, Fred Lane, has been that guy.
3rd and 4. 3-wide receiver package for Beuerlein this time. Wesley Walls goes in motion. Beuerlein to throw it. Has a completion, but not enough for a first down. Raghib Ismail.
Yeah, big tackle by Randall Godfrey, because that was a 3-man line, and it was a nickel defense. And again, when they throw the ball short of that first down marker, one thing offensively, you want to get it above that first down marker. Defensively, when they throw it short, you have to make a short tackle like Randall Godfrey did there.
Godfrey, among the Dallas linebackers, probably the most talented. Deion Sanders standing back at the 10.
And they want to keep it away from Deion. They're going to try in this situation the directional kick.
Walter hangs it high. This one should be effective, and Deion runs away from it. And they will down it at about the 3. Carolina will. Damian Richardson, 5-5 hang time. And that, believe me, is excellent hang time. And we're back at Texas Stadium. 0-0 score between Carolina and Dallas. Jason Garrett bends over in the huddle.
This is where it's a good idea to fling a deep one. You know, you're talking about a deep one will loosen up a defense, and coming out of your own end, so this isn't a bad place to throw a deep one.
Jason Garrett can fling it deep. And he drops to fling it.
Fling!
Got a man underthrown a bit, but complete to Michael Irvin, who ran under it. Wasn't a bad place to fling a deep one.
No, it was a great place to fling a deep one, and that's what you want to do, because they know that they think they have you where they want you, you know, and they got you backed up, and you're just going to try and bang it out of there. And you got Rod Smith out there against Michael Irvin, and if you have that matchup, I would take it all day. I'd take Michael Irvin, and I'd throw to him all day in this matchup.
Michael Irvin is still down in front of the Dallas bench. And now he's up in the sitting position, at least. Billy Davis has taken his place. On first down, it's Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt bangs for a Dallas first. And right now, for an NFL update, let's send you back to Los Angeles and James Brown.
Pat, the Buffalo spanking still fresh in San Francisco's mind. So on its opening drive, Steve Young, on his 37th birthday, throws himself a present. That to tight end Greg Clark. San Francisco up by a touch. Back to Pat and John.
No score here. Carolina and Dallas. Michael Irvin shaken up as he caught the pass from Jason Garrett. That's Kevin Green, the Carolina excellent pass rusher. There's Michael Irvin. Looked like it might be his nose. And it looked like they might have just said it. Boy.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. By UPS, moving at the speed of business. By Little Caesars Pizza, featuring the highest quality ingredients and dough made fresh daily. And by Gateway. Let's talk about your gateway.
Carolina nothing, Dallas nothing. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Jason Garrett in the huddle for the Cowboys. Michael Irvin over on the sideline, still being attended to.
It looked like his face went right into the carpet, and that's one of those things where your helmet then goes down on your nose.
2nd and 1. Going deep is Garrett, and he hits Ernie Mills, who's playing in place of Irvin.
Yeah,
that's two of those where you just fling it downfield.
Yep, and that's what Jason Garrett does so well. Here you're going to see Ernie Mills here, and this has been a big addition to me for the Dallas Cowboys is Ernie Mills playing out there. He and Billy Davis have really become another receiver, so it's not just Michael Irvin. They can throw deep to Michael Irvin, and then they can put Billy Mills in the game and throw deep to him.
Rod Smith was the defender in place of Doug Evans. First and goal. Irvin is back. Darrell Johnston gets the carry. Gets across the 5 down to about the 4. 42-yard pass completion on the previous play.
Yeah, here's what happened to Michael Irvin. You saw the play that he gets hurt. Watch as he goes down here. He's going to go face first right into the turf. Doink, right there. And then you get that helmet where the helmet comes down and it goes right to the bridge of the nose.
I was talking to Michael Irvin down the field before the game. Remarked about how trim and slim he looked, and he said, yes, I've lost weight, you know, when you get older. Garrett goes down in the arms of Jason Peter. Beg your pardon.
And that was Jason Peter, the rookie #1 draft choice of the Panthers, starting at left defensive end. And you see, he's just a power guy. Here's Jason Peter right here. And he's going to get a rush. He's going to come right there. Now, Eric Williams blocks down, and then I hate that pattern right there.
Yeah.
A lot of people do it where they have the tackle blocked down, and they let the end go, and the back is supposed to fake and go and cut him.
Chris Warren is in the backfield alongside LaFleur, who stays in the block. Screen pass coming. Warren drops it. You could see him turn like he was going to run, and took his eye off the ball and dropped it.
Yeah, well, that's the second time the Cowboys have had the ball, and then on third down throwing the ball short. I like Jason Garrett a lot better, and I think he throws the deep balls a lot better. Now here again, this isn't about Jason Garrett. This is about Chris Warren.
He just looked away
because, well, it was a screen pass, I think, and he was trying to turn to see if he had a blocker or what he had to do out in front of him.
Richie Cunningham from 28 yards out. Bjornsson holding. Dale Hellestray snapping. And Cunningham puts the Cowboys on top 3-0. 5:45 left in quarter number 1. 3-0 Dallas. Dallas 3, Carolina 0. 5:45 left in the first. That's Hervin McCormick. An equipment problem, and Richie Cunningham, who just kicked that field goal. I beg your pardon, this is Toby Goen to kick off, not Cunningham. Goen hangs it to Michael Bates, one of the better kickoff returners. Out to the 39-yard line, and for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown at the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles.
At Philadelphia made Washington pay for a fumble by Trent Green. Rodney Peete sees Washington drop into man coverage. He's got an alley, 19 yards to pay dirt. Peete scoring for the Eagles, 7-0 Philly over Washington. Back to Pat and John.
Back at Texas Stadium, Steve Beuerlein drops to throw it. Has time, gets it out of the backfield to William Floyd. He was down.
You know, one thing about Steve Beuerlein is he does know this Cowboy defense, because you remember he was a backup here for the Cowboys. As a matter of fact, Steve Beuerlein still lives here in Dallas.
Yeah, he does.
In fact, he bought a lot from the Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones.
Did Jerry give him a break?
No, he didn't give him a break. He said it was Stephen Jones who worked with him, but he said he didn't get any break at all. So you didn't expect one, did you?
That's Anthony Johnson straight ahead.
Yeah, we talked earlier about Fred Lane missing the airplane. The Panthers flew in here last night. Fred Lane wasn't there, so for disciplinary reasons, they're not suiting him. They're not starting him today. And you wonder at what point you do this. I mean, you know, Anthony Johnson is the backup to Fred Lane. You know, he's also the third down back. But at what point does the discipline end and the things start, you know, where you say, well, let's help our team here.
And you wonder what was going through Fred Lane's mind when he missed the airplane. This is Johnson. And he is cut down right at midfield.
You know, so many things have to be going through this Panther team's mind today when you're 0-4 and you come back on Wednesday and your starting quarterback comes in and tells the head coach that his heart isn't in the game and he doesn't want to be the starter, and then they go out on the field and Steve Beuerlein runs out on the field, runs into the huddle and tells the team the first time they hear it, he says, "There's a new sheriff in town."
And you wonder, where is your heart? This is Johnson, and that's a Cowboys good defensive play by Godfrey and Lett.
If Leon Lett gets well again, he's going to be again one of the best defensive linemen in football. And you see how he plays here. I mean, they have a double team on Leon Lett. And he just takes that thing. He skates down the line of scrimmage. They're trying to cut him. He plays off the cut and gets in on the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Leon is getting healthier each week. He doesn't practice during the week, but you can just see him getting better and better.
And how'd you like to have to block him when he gets completely healthy?
I wouldn't want that job. Here comes a blitz by the Cowboys. The pass thrown and complete to Ismail.
That was pretty good there by Steve Beuerlein getting that pass off, because there was a strong safety blitz, and you're going to see the safety comes up. He gets up and he's going to hit this thing. Beuerlein sees it. Now when he sees that safety blitz, he knows one thing: I better get rid of the ball quickly. But the other thing he knows is that he has man-to-man coverage.
And he had Anthony Johnson, who did a heck of a job picking up that blitz.
That's the thing, because Anthony Johnson bought him that time to get the ball out there to Rocket Ismail.
Off to Floyd, and Floyd gets down across the Dallas 35 just barely. William Floyd, of course, came from the 49ers after spending time on the West Coast and coming back from a very severe knee injury. In fact, a lot of people, John, didn't think he'd ever come back.
Yeah, and I guess I was one of the guys that said that he really hasn't come all the way back, that he's not the same as he was before he had the injury. And he had a message for me before the game. He said, "I'm going to show you the barn on his back. I'm going to show you. Watch me today."
Sent you a message, huh?
Yeah, I heard it was on camera.
Here's Beuerlein. Got a man. Got a touchdown. The Rocket. And boy, did he ever look like a rocket. From Beuerlein, and wow, the shot from Beuerlein, too. What a good throw.
And that's a big play. In fact, Steve Beuerlein was telling us last night, if he's going to get a big play, it's going to be Rocket Ismail. And here again, what they do is they get him on Darren Woodson, and that's the same thing that the Denver Broncos did.
Yep.
You get your fast guy on their safety, and then you run a deep pattern on him.
And he was pulling away from Woodson.
And if there was another 100 yards of field, he would be pulling away more and more and more.
Casey for the extra point, which is good, and Carolina leads 7-3.
On that drive, those were two great pass protections, but also two great passes by Steve Beuerlein.
Tonight, it's Game 4 of the NLCS as Denny Nagel looks to keep the Braves' postseason hopes alive when he squares off with Joey Hamilton and the Padres in San Diego. Coverage begins tonight at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. Your home of the 1998 World Series. That's this year.
Now watch, here's Rocket Ismail right here on in the slot, and you see off of him, you see Darren Woodson, and Rocket Ismail just gets even with him. And once he gets even with him, Steve Beuerlein knows that he has a touchdown.
That's a heck of a throw from Beuerlein.
Right, because when he is even with his speed, he is by.
Casey to kick off. Beuerlein was all excited yesterday afternoon when we talked to him.
Yeah, well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
The last thing, he walked out the door and he says, "Mark it down." He says, "We're going to beat these guys."
New sheriff in town, and new sheriff has got his guns loaded, doesn't he?
And you know, one thing about Steve Beuerlein, he has a good arm. He's a very strong competitor. He is not a mobile quarterback, so he needs that pass protection that he's gotten thus far.
in the corner is Kevin Mathis. Yesterday we spoke to Carolina coach Dom Capers about the team's approach this week.
I feel good about the way this team practiced this week. You're always concerned coming off of a frustrating loss that we had a week ago. But I think that the one thing about this team throughout the first 4 games is they've come back in and gone back to work and taken the same approach. And I think that's what you have to do to improve and to become a good football team. Is you have to work the same way after a loss as you do after a win, and that can't change. And we've had an excellent week of practice.
7-3 Carolina over the Dallas Cowboys. 1st and 10 Dallas on their own 32.
That's Derwin Gray, who's the backup safety for the Panthers, who was injured on that play. They thought that maybe he would be the starting safety today because Tony Veland had an injury. They weren't sure if he could play, but Veland was okay. Veland started this game.
Not to make alibis for anybody, but the Panthers seem to have had one injury after another. It happens to everybody I know, but the Panthers seem to have had more and more. Tuesday was Bobby adopted. Truth comes out on an all-new King of the Hill. Then Sue's playing doctor on an all-new Costello, followed by Guinness World Records. All starts Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox. 7-3 Carolina leading Dallas. 1:29 in the first quarter. Before the game, Troy Aikman, of course, broke his collarbone against Denver when the Cowboys tripped, but he was trip out west to Denver. But Aikman was out working out before the game, running the steps. There he goes. Swinging his arms pretty good.
Yeah, and you know the thing that he can do is he can do those things. He can run the steps and he can throw. And the next thing that he has to do is be able to take a snap. He tried to do one last week, and that hurt his collarbone then. And then he still says that, that the big test is going to be when he comes back and plays and takes that hit where he's driven into the ground. Will the collarbone stay together then?
He's talking about coming back or attempting to come back against the Bears next week. But Chan Gailey says it'll be against the Eagles after the Cowboys have a bye.
Yeah, that's what I would guess too, because they have the Bears and then they have a bye and then they have the Eagles. And that would make more sense.
That's Emmitt Smith outside the 35, stopped by Brent Alexander.
In fact, Troy was telling me yesterday that they took an X-ray of it last Monday and there was no change whatsoever.
He was discouraged then.
Yeah, that it still looked the same as the first X-ray. So again, he can talk, and I think sometimes you have to have a goal in your mind. You have to think, I want to make yourself work and and feel good. But I think in reality, it's going to be the Eagle game.
Darrell Johnston on the move. Fake to Emmitt Smith. Jason Garrett lobs it over to Emmitt. Flag on the play as Emmitt's still on his feet, and Emmitt will have enough for a Cowboy first down, but there's a penalty marker down.
And usually when you have that many pumps and that long and there's a penalty flag, there has to be an offensive lineman downfield, because the offensive lineman doesn't know that the guy's back there pumping and pumping and pumping. And I think I saw Flozell Adams, the rookie starting right guard. I think I saw him downfield.
Ineligible. Offense number 50 downfield prior to the pass. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Well, it was both of them, but you can't blame. Here's Clay Shiver, here's the center, here's Flozell Adams, the right guard. And you're going to see that they're sliding and sliding and sliding. And then there's so much time. You see right there, they both go downfield. So they gave it to Clay Shiver, but it was also Flozell Adams. And you don't want to be looking back at your quarterback and you think by then the ball's gone.
Garrett drops, throws, has Bjornsson. Flag, another flag on the play. And from his reaction, Bjornsson's reaction, it's against the Cowboys.
I'll tell you, Tim Morabito was very, very close to getting to Jason Garrett on that play. Like with Eric Williams, it's against Carolina, and it is against Carolina.
Yes, it is. That's
illegal hands to the face. Defense number 97. 5-yard penalty.
That was Jason Peter.
First down.
In a battle with Eric Williams.
Well, here's Jason Peter right here, and here's Eric Williams, and Eric Williams is a guy that usually goes to the face, and they put that rule in for him, and you can see that Jason Peter not only went to Eric Williams's face, but he's going to do it twice. Watch here. Watch. He takes the right hand, jams it up in there, and then he takes it and jams it up again. And I wouldn't do that. You know, Eric Williams is a guy that I wouldn't get too excited.
You wouldn't want to get. No, you don't want to get hit. One of those guys you don't want to get riled up.
You know, and I think Jason Peter being a rookie, so I'm going to show this guy that I'm not a rookie. Well, I don't know. You want to do that.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Panthers 7, the Cowboys 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Back at Texas Stadium, Cowboys have the ball trailing 7-3. Jason Garrett back to throw. Wide open is Billy Davis, and Davis gets into Carolina territory. Now, how could he get so open?
Because Doug Evans is out there playing with a cast on his hand, and he's given way too much cushion. You see how far off he is now? Look at his left hand. He has that big cast on there, and he knows that he can't get up tight because he can't bump. He's playing out there with one arm. He can't tackle, and you wonder if you can't get up and bump,
and you can't tackle,
and you can't tackle, and you have to play a loose coverage. You wonder what the heck you're doing out there anyway.
Panthers showing blitz. Garrett again fires to Irvin.
Because one thing they're going to do is they're going to pick on Doug Evans, because they know that again that he can't jam. They know that he can't tackle. That he know that he can't make an interception. So the only thing that he can do is be out there and be a pretty experienced corner.
Evans backs into the sunlight. That shadow. A hole in the roof. You can see right there. That's Emmitt Smith. Can't get away. Lost the ball. Let's see who got it. A lot of whistle blowing.
I know it, and look, there's a lot of leg kicking too. There's someone down there that keeps kicking their legs up. I think they just kicked an official.
They're trying to get him out of there.
I know it.
There's a foot.
You see, yeah, there's someone that has his heels up over his head. They still don't know who has it. Kevin Green's down there. Kevin Green is a professional wrestler.
Yeah, so Carolina says they got it.
Kevin Green had a foreign object down there, and that's how they got the ball.
Carolina first down.
Carolina got it.
You see now here we see it come out. You see right there the ball. It was Emmitt Smith loses it before it was really knocked out. Sean Gilbert is number 94 who hits him, but I think that ball was coming out before Sean Gilbert got there.
I think so too. 7-3 Carolina.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by OnNet from MCI WorldCom, your one connection to the world. By Claritin. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better.
As opposed to the 14-hand average height of the horses from which the breed originated.
Dallas, Texas State Fair going on. Jerry Jones down out of his box onto the sideline. Beuerlein, the quarterback, gets to Anthony Johnson. It gets maybe a yard.
You know, Steve Beuerlein's been perfect so far. We know about that big one that he hit Rocket Ismail on for the touchdown, but he's 5 for 5. And again, I think they have a new offense, the Panthers do, and a new offensive coordinator, and Gil Haskell calling the plays now, and he came over from the Green Bay Packers, installing that offense. And one of the things that they want is mixture, but the pass is really working pretty well.
Yep.
Deion Sanders is playing on Muhsin Muhammad today.
Beuerlein's pass is complete to Wesley Walls. Derwin Gray, by the way, strained left knee. His return is questionable.
Yeah, we talk about Deion. He's playing right corner now, and you see he's going with Muhsin Muhammad, and he'll just go right or left wherever Muhammad goes. And Deion just covers him like a blanket. I don't think that Carolina is going to throw on Deion. I mean, they're going to try and get other matchups, that not being one of them.
3rd and 3. Pass is complete to Muhsin Muhammad.
Yeah, and that time Deion didn't get on Muhammad. Muhammad was on this side.
Yep.
And Deion was on the other side. So what they're doing is they're not working to or away from Muhammad. What they're doing is they're working to or away from Deion.
Not very many times do they go to Deion.
Now here's Deion over on this side now.
Fumble. And the Panthers get it back. First 15 plays for Carolina.
Yeah, we were talking about Gil Haskell and the new offense, and you can see he has 8 runs and 7 passes, but from 10 different formations. So it's not only that they want to mix up the run and the pass so that the defense can't zero in and make them one-dimensional, but you also want to give them a different look. So 10 times out of 15, they gave him different formation looks.
Deion this time comes over with Muhammad. Beuerlein goes back to throw it. Gets it up the middle to William Floyd, and Floyd pass completion worth about 5 or 6 yards.
You know, and I can see why Deion Sanders gets bored and why he wants to, you know, be a punt returner, why he wants to play offense, because Steve Beuerlein, wherever Deion Sanders lines up, Steve Beuerlein doesn't even look to that side.
He's going away.
No, Deion could just stand there, let the guy run wide open, and I don't think they would throw where he is.
I think that's a pretty intelligent decision. Stay away from that guy.
I do too. I mean, there's no reason to challenge him because you got a lot of other ways to spread him out and a lot of other guys you can challenge.
3rd down. Beuerlein back to throw it. Has some time, and now the pass is caught and complete. That's to Anthony Johnson, and Johnson is inside the 20.
I'll tell you, and that's the thing that Steve Beuerlein can't do. He can't move. You have to say that this is either great pass protection by this Carolina offensive front or a poor rush by the Cowboys, because you can't give Steve Beuerlein this kind of time. And he looked, and he looked, and he looked, and then he moved, and he's still looking downfield, and he finally finds Anthony Johnson. But I tell you, you have to get a better pass rush on him, and if the 4 guys can't do it, you have to blitz him. Look at Deion Sanders. He gets his helmet kicked right off. It still doesn't know where he went.
Well, he only fastens one of those straps. That's Blake Brockermeyer, who's shaken up on the last play. Steve Beuerlein has, well, he hasn't put on a show, but it's been a pretty doggone good effort. Back at Texas Stadium, Carolina 7, Dallas 3, but the Panthers on the move again. Have a first down at the Dallas 17, 1st and 10.
Steve Beuerlein is yet to throw an incomplete pass.
Amazing. And off to Johnson. Gets inside the 15, about the 13. He's one of those backs who doesn't look like he's getting much, but you unpile and he's got 4 or 5.
Yeah, and then he's a good blocker, because we've seen that on a blitz. We've seen him as a good pass receiver. He's the guy that got him down here in that first down. Guy we just saw there was Blake Brockermeyer, who they're working on in the sideline. And talk about the injuries that the Panthers have had. They've had all kinds of injuries, and really now with Brockermeyer hurt, and they already have Matt Campbell, their left guard, who's probably their best offensive lineman, is out.
Here's Beuerlein. And he's caught from behind or from the side by Kavika Pittman and Greg Ellis.
Yeah, see, and that's one of those coverage things because Beuerlein is ready to throw the ball, and the pass protection is pretty good. See, he's trying to throw the slant, the three-step drop there, and when it's not open with good coverage down here, he was trying to throw it to Wesley Rawls. Now he takes the three-step drop. Now, if you don't go 1, 2, 3, boom, the ball out of there, then you have to run in that lane that he found open. And if you're Steve Beuerlein, you're not mobile, so you can't do much about it.
So it brings up a 3rd and 9. They're 3 out of 4 in their third down conversions. Beuerlein drops, fires, got a man open. And touchdown, Carolina. Ismail is second of the day from Beuerlein.
I think they better move Deion Sanders to Rocket Ismail if they're worried about a guy that has the speed, has the quickness, and a guy that Steve Beuerlein is going to. It's not Muhammad today, it's Ismail today. Hey, watch him. He's just out here. Now, this, again, is way too big a cushion. And you see he comes in a slant, and then he goes back out. That's just Kevin Smith. He's just given way. He's off way too far.
Yep.
There's nothing he can do about that.
The extra point by Casey is good, and it's 14-3 with 8:54 left before halftime at Texas Stadium. The Cowboys stunned a little bit by the performance of Beuerlein and Carolina. Back at Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 14-3 Carolina, the winless Carolina Panthers leading Dallas. 8:54 left in the second quarter. Casey's kick fielded by Mathis. And Kevin Mathis struggles and gets to the 20 after a lot of running and not many yards in the right direction.
Let's watch this, Pat. Now, we were talking about Kevin Smith. I have no idea why he's that far off. Rocket Ismail is going to come in, and he's going to go back out, and Kevin Smith just stays off him. I was looking into the backfield, but look at that cushion. He not only has the cushion, but he keeps the cushion. And then at the end, now he finally gets up there and makes a poor reaction on the tackle.
Holding.
That's about 3 bad
During
things.
the return, number 27. Penalized half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Holding against the Cowboys, and they go back to the 10 as a result of that.
Yeah, and you know that's the area that they're going to work on. I'm talking about throwing away from Deion Sanders. That means if you're going to throw to your outside receiver, there's not going to be Muhammad. It's going to be Ismail, and it's going to be against Kevin Smith. They have to do some different things in that area.
Garrett gives to Emmitt Smith. And that play was number 16 of Dallas' first 16 offensive maneuvers.
See, and again, they have pretty good balance there. And they've run the ball 7 times. They've passed the ball 8 times. And again, they've used 10 different formations. And
same as Carolina.
Same thing, yeah. I mean, and that's what teams want now, is give them a lot of different looks and mix run and pass and have a pretty even balance.
Jason Garrett again to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt breaks out of the pack, bounces to the 40, outside the 40, about the 42. That looked like the Emmitt of 5 years ago.
And Brent Alexander, number 46, the safety, does a pretty good job. He's going to come in this area here. You see, Kevin Green goes to the inside. So they just take him down to the inside. Emmitt Smith breaks it, and right here, Alexander makes a pretty good play in holding him up. Watch Kevin Green. See, when he takes the inside, then Eric Williams buries him. So that's the block. Eric Williams' block on Kevin Green is what got him the first 5 yards. Then Emmitt Smith got a little more on his own, and Brent Alexander finally made a pretty good play.
This is Chris Warren, the ball carrier this time, and he gets about 5 as Emmitt Smith gets a rest. 7:10 left to play before halftime. 14-3 Carolina.
That's what Chan Gailey wants to do. He wants to be able to use Chris Warren as a 3rd down back and to give Emmitt Smith a blow. And then with his wide receivers, he's using Billy Davis and Ernie Mills. And they alternate every series. So He's come up with a couple of running backs that can be one great running back, and he's come up with a couple of receivers that can be one good receiver.
This is Warren. Just shy of midfield.
We were talking about those two backs, and you look what they did last week. It was they both rushed for over 100 yards, and the last time they did that, the Cowboys did that, it was Tony Dorsett and Robert Newhouse.
It's only been done one other time in their history.
But they're down 14-3, so Chris Warren and Emmitt Smith and all those things don't mean a darn thing if they don't get this offense going now.
Emmitt Smith's back, 3rd and 3. Garrett sprints out, throws complete, gets the first down to Ernie Mills. Blake Bronkermeyer, the offensive tackle, sprained his right knee. His return is questionable. He played at Texas.
Of course, he was a big left tackle, and then we talked earlier how a couple weeks ago they lost Matt Campbell, who was their left guard, and so now the entire left side of the Carolina Panther offensive line is out.
First down, Dallas at the Carolina 44. Pass is incomplete, intended for Michael Irvin. I know from being down on the field before the game, before that shadow got that far onto the field, that it's very difficult to pick up a ball coming out of the shadow into the sunlight.
Yeah, that's always been a problem. I mean, it's not only you always think of it a problem for the receivers, but it's also a problem for defensive backs, and maybe even the biggest problem is punt returners.
So it's 2nd and 10. 2 tight ends set up. Bjornsson and LaFleur.
I think the Cowboys ought to think down here.
Garrett goes deep, and the pass is caught. See, they were in bounds. There's a flag on the play. Michael Irvin who made the catch.
It's funny, he threw to Michael Irvin into double coverage, and he threw away from Doug Evans into single coverage.
Defense number 2.
And it worked.
Penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
That's what a great player like Michael Irvin can do. And I think Jason Garrett knows that. He says, I don't care what they're doing. They'd have a corner. They have the safety coming over to that side. I am still going to throw the ball to Michael Irvin, the playmaker. See, they have 2 guys right there, and Michael Irvin still makes the play.
The playmaker got away with a little shoving on his own that time.
The playmaker has gotten away with a little shoving on his own his whole life in this league.
Garrett. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Ernie Mills at about the 5. He couldn't hang on.
You know, he was trying to get the ball to Michael Irvin again in front of Mills. Michael Irvin was down in the end zone, but again, he was double covered. Jason Garrett on the play before threw into a form of double coverage. On that one, the double coverage on Michael Irvin was too good, so he came off to Ernie Mills.
And Mills could have made the catch, but again, that ball coming out of the shadows into the sunlight. 2nd and 10.
I still think they could get something down here in the bottom against Doug Evans.
With all that cushion,
there it is.
A diving catch, touchdown. What a catch by Ernie Mills. Falling away from the ball, and the ball dropping straight down almost.
I mean, that's the place to go. I mean, Doug Evans is a very good corner. Doug Evans playing with one hand is not. And that's the place that you have to go to work. You see Ernie Mills here. Now he has Doug Evans there. Now he knows that Doug Evans can't intercept the ball, can't get his hands on him, can't use it, and he in turn makes a great catch.
Oh, what a wonderful catch.
Well, Jason Garrett threw that ball where there was only one guy that was going to catch it, and that guy was Ernie Mills.
Jason Garrett, I don't know this, but appears to have a very soft touch with the ball he throws.
He does. He throws a very good deep ball.
Cunningham's extra point's good, as Chan Gailey has to be a little bit elated about that situation, but his team still trails 14-10. Panthers 10, Panthers 14 rather. Cowboys 10. Dallas scoring drive, 9 plays, 93 yards. Toby Goen kicks off, good kick. Bates comes out of the end zone. And Michael Bates, flag on the play, a penalty marker down.
You know, one of the things that Dom Capers was talking about last night, and it's so true, that when you look at the statistics of a game, you really don't see all the hidden yardage that come in the passing and the kicking game.
It is true.
Penalize half the distance to the goal line. First down.
So instead of starting up close to the 20, now they go half the distance to the goal line.
That's right, and there's so many of those things when you see, well, remember last week the Cowboys, Deion Sanders returns a long one for a touchdown, and then there was holding, so they bring the ball all the way back, and in essence, that's an 80-yard penalty.
All right.
Like he says, there's a heck of a lot of hidden penalty yardage in the kicking game today.
First down, Carolina. Straight ahead is Anthony Johnson outside the 10 to about the 13. Yesterday we spoke to Cowboy quarterback Jason Garrett about throwing at Carolina cornerback Doug Evans.
Well, it's not something that we see as a weak link on his part, but, you know, if all things being equal, he and Eric Davis, because he does have the cast on his hand, you might want to go to that side a little bit more, just because it's a little bit more difficult for him to make an interception. He's knocked balls down with that cast, but it's hard for him to catch, so all things being equal, we might work that side.
And 6. Wesley Walls gets the pass from Beuerlein for a Carolina first down.
Tell you, that's one thing that Steve Beuerlein is doing today. He's getting very good pass protection. He's throwing the ball well, and he's getting Wesley Walls back into the game plan, because Wesley Walls, for whatever reason this year, probably drawn a lot of coverage, but he's kind of been the forgotten man of this offense. And remember, a year ago, he was the go-to guy.
He's one of the better receiving tight ends in football. Even when he was at San Francisco and then at New Orleans and now here. He's been the featured pass catcher. Beuerlein gets it to Ismail. To the 40, another Carolina first down.
They have a good plan here. I like what they're doing. This is one of those Green Bay Packer plays. Rocket Ismail was lined up wide on the right side, and he comes in motion, and then he just keeps going across. And at some point, after the ball is snapped, he is going to be wide open. And just watch it here. You see, here he is now. He comes in motion, 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 and then he goes all the way across. But you see where he started? And then he starts in motion, then he goes all the way across. Now, somewhere there, he is going to be wide open just like that.
In motion again. Hand off to William Floyd. And Floyd fighting for yardage outside the 40, about the 43.
You know, that play, that's part of the West Coast offense, and the first time we saw that, it was put in for Jerry Rice, because they were bumping Jerry Rice, and so what they started to do is they started bringing him down in motion and then just keeping him going across the field. And when you have speed, you can go up the field and use your speed, but you can also go across the field to use your speed.
2:24 left to play in the first half, and Beuerlein retreats. Blitz going or coming for the Cowboys. Beuerlein just unloaded. Wesley Walls, the intended receiver.
Yeah, that was one of those smart ones that he had to get a hot read here. He's going to have to get rid of that ball because he's going to get the pressure. And you see the blitz coming right now. It's coming right up the middle. Fred Strickland is free. So Beuerlein, again, not being a mobile guy, knows that he has to get rid of the ball. It's kind of dangerous throwing right into the teeth of the defense to get rid of it, though.
So it's 3rd and about 7.
Oh, yeah, that was his first incompletion.
Yeah, I know that. I was thinking.
Yeah, he had 12 straight going. I think the fans know it now. They're up cheering.
Here's Beuerlein. And there is Beuerlein down. Lost about a yard. Leon Lett is the man who took him down, and the Panthers will have to punt.
We're going to see Leon Lett here. Now, again, we know that Steve Beuerlein, if he can get on rhythm, you know, he is going to be okay. But there you see Frank Garcia trying to block. Leon Lett just goes right through it. Now, that was a coverage sack because Steve Beuerlein had to bring that ball down because he had no one to throw it to, and then Leon Lett got there. Now, Deion's down here. He's getting his crowd excited.
2-minute warning. 2 minutes left to play in the first half at Texas Stadium. It's 14-10 Carolina. Deion Sanders.
In the history of punt returners, Pat, have you ever seen a punt returner get ready by dancing?
No, I haven't. But I've never seen a player like Deion Sanders either.
Have you ever seen a punt returner do anything like this?
Forget about returning this one as the punter, Ken Walter, comes out with it and gets the Carolina first down.
That's the thing. If you're going to be aggressive, then you have to be aggressive in your play calling too. And that's what Dom Capers is. If you want your players to be fighters, if you want them to be aggressive, you have to.
Hold a flag on the play.
It's going to be against Carolina too.
Formation, offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 4th down.
See what happens is they only have, let me see that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7. I think they're okay. I think this is legal. I don't see anything illegal about this formation because this is legal inside.
I think that's a bad call.
The outside guys were on the line of scrimmage. I think the officials saw something that the camera didn't see. And I'll tell you, that's a big break for Dallas because not only does Carolina not get a first down here, that hidden yardage again, but now they're going to have to punt the ball where Deion Sanders can do something with it.
Or punt it away from him and sacrifice some yardage. It's a good kick, but Deion's going to get a chance. He signals fair catch and does at about the 18. Yesterday, we spoke to Cowboy cornerback Deion Sanders about his strategy when returning punts.
I'm catching it and I'm trying to squeeze it to make sure it's secured. Then I'm looking for that one seam. There's always one. There's always one gap there to hit. If you can make it there, and if you can hit it, that's the question. And once I hit it, I'm just trying to explode upfield, keep my legs high, because guys are diving back and forth at you. Then, man, once you see the punter, it's time to fire up the band.
Well, the punt was so good that Deion didn't get a chance to explode. And the Cowboys take over at their own 19 with Chris Warren.
And they're going in shotgun on first down.
Yep.
Maximum protection shotgun.
Pass is caught by Ernie Mills. First down.
That's not a bad idea, Pat. I mean, to get in the shotgun on first down, and then they know, again, they're still working on Doug Evans. And you see here, here's the protection here. You keep your protectors here. Doug Evans is out here on the side. And again, they're just going to work on him. See, this is what they're going to do because he's off and just work the outs and just work in front of him. And then if he comes up, then work deep on him.
Remember, Doug Evans didn't start. Rod Smith did. They beat him a couple of times, and now I don't even see him on the sideline.
So see, you get him in 4 wide receivers and have to get in their nickel anyway.
Here comes Jason Garrett. Out of bounds and stops the clock. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, J.B., Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
Yeah, I think that's really not a bad plan, Pat, for the Cowboys is to put their 3 and 4 wide receivers in, go shotgun, because then Carolina has to go nickel, and then they have to put Doug Evans in there, and Rod Smith is playing on that other side.
Right. We found him, or I found him. Chris Warren gets away from one. Gets no yards. Dallas has 2 timeouts left. Carolina has all 3 of theirs.
You wonder when it's so easy to do, you know, just throw the ball out here, right here on this thing, why they would do anything else until the Panthers stop it.
Chan Gailey upset on the sidelines. We saw him yelling out to Jason Garrett.
He's upset how much time they're taking.
Yeah. Clock still running.
Make a check here, and it didn't work, and they're finally saying after we've wasted all that time and we've really done some dumb thing, let's take a timeout and talk about what we did that was so dumb.
That's just flatly a waste of time.
You know, let's just look at this play again. This is going to be the fake punt. Now, they said that they didn't have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And if these 2 guys are on the line of scrimmage, that's 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. And then on the very next play, when they did punt, this looks like the same alignment to me.
It sure does.
It was legal.
It sure does.
So they lined up the same exact way. On one of them, they went for a fake, got a first down, and it was called a penalty. The next one, there was no penalty on it.
56 seconds left to play in the first half. 3rd and 6. Maximum protection for Jason Garrett in the shotgun. And Garrett, pass complete to Michael Irvin coming out of the slot. And they move deeply into Carolina territory at the 39 and hustle up. They've used a lot of valuable time not getting a play call a minute ago. Now they line up in a hurry. The handoff to Chris Warren, and Warren trying to get around the corner, trying to get out of bounds. Good tackle by Ron Smith, kept him in bounds and cut him down.
You know, you wonder why they're doing that or why they have to mix the run in, because the pass protection is doing real well. They have things under control there. They found areas that they can throw to, and that's been successful. And you don't have to fool them with the run. You don't have to waste the time with the run right now. I mean, Jason Garrett has plenty of confidence.
Yes, he does.
And again, the key thing is he's getting the pass protection in time. And the other key thing, every time he goes back to throw, he has someone open.
He should have confidence. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
Remember Jason Garrett in that Thanksgiving Day game we had where he came in and hit all those deep passes?
Never forget it.
Yeah, his wife Brill just told him, you know, if you ever get in the game, you don't know what to do, just throw the ball deep.
Well, she's an attorney.
Yeah.
And he's a Princeton graduate.
Yeah, well, she's a Princeton graduate.
So they ought to have it figured out.
He's a Princeton and Harvard graduate.
Harvard Law School. Blitz coming. Garrett gets it to Deion Sanders. No yards, no gain. Dallas out of timeouts.
They're just going to have to throw the ball down and stop the clock and then do something on 4th down. They really didn't have very good time management on this. You know, with their clock, they didn't know what to do. That run to Chris Warren, I thought, was kind of ill-advised. And now they get themselves in a situation where they had to throw the ball down on 3rd down to bring up 4th down. So now they might as well just kick a field goal, which they're going to try and do.
They're going to try from 55 yards. Bjornsson holding. Richie Cunningham. That won't get there. Not quite enough from Richie Cunningham, and as they head for the locker room at halftime, the Panthers 14, the Cowboys 10, and this Carolina group has regrouped, and they're playing well. Steve Beuerlein has become that new sheriff.